Welcome everyone to the Senior Living 411 series. As you know, November is Fall Prevention Month, and I am on a quest to provide you with information that will be relevant to you or a loved one for Fall Prevention Month. Today's topic is the 411 on what to do if you fall. My name is Desiree King, and I am a senior home safety advisor here in Ontario. I wanted to first share my story with you. So the first question that I'm often asked when I do these seminars to a group such as this one is, what do you know about aging? Or you look so young, or why do you care? And my response is quite honestly is that it's my passion. My response is that I've been doing this since I was 14 years old in some capacity. When I was 14, I volunteered to work as a candy striper. That's right, I worked in the hospital, volunteering, wore the red and white apron, and I volunteered to deliver books on the geriatrics floor, which I quite enjoyed. I then went on to work as a dietary aide in the geriatric ward of a hospital throughout my high school years, and since then I've worked in or owned several senior-related businesses. Most recently, I was a realtor for the past 6 years who specialized in working with the 55 plus demographic. I've taken a whole slew of courses in aging in place, downsizing, retirement living options, and dementia care. I've also worked as a client care coordinator for one of the leading home health care companies in North America. And I must admit that during my time spent as a realtor, I've always felt a pull towards the educating and serving side of the business more so than the real estate transactional side. So at the beginning of 2020, I knew that something in my life was about to change. I knew that my calling was greater than my career. However, little did I know that we would hit a pandemic called coronavirus. As a matter of fact, none of us thought this would happen. Over the past 7 months, coronavirus has killed roughly 9,822 Canadians. 81% of these deaths are linked to long-term care homes. Health officials have cited the need for rigorous visitor and resident care protocols and precautions in these facilities. But the solution, I believe, is also in our hand. We as a people, as the future elderly population in this country, have to make some decisions as well. I firmly believe that we as Canadians need to change our thinking and method of caring for the elderly. One possible solution is that we honor the wishes of our elderly members of society and allow them to stay at home by doing what places like Scotland have done and pouring money into home modifications and home health care as opposed to hospital funding. Over the past 2 months, as I sat at home listening to the news and watching the number of deaths occur with our seniors, I realized that I wanted to do more than I was already doing. I realized that being a realtor did not align with my desire to have a greater impact on the lives of seniors. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates once said, "Drastic times call for drastic measures," and my drastic measure took the form of me officially resigning from real estate and turning my attention to my one thing, which was senior home safety. While many seniors want to stay at home safely, the fact is, as you'll see in these upcoming stats, their homes are not equipped to do so. And in preparation for what I see will be a shift in the mindset of seniors, their adult children, and society on the whole, my main objective is to assist families in figuring out what is wrong in the home of themselves or their loved ones proactively and what needs to be addressed in order to allow our seniors to be in their homes safely. Now, you may be wondering, why is fall prevention so important? There are 4 main reasons I can give you tonight. Number 1, falls are common. Falls are the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries for older Canadians. As a matter of fact, 1 in 4 older adults fall each year. Every 11 seconds, an older adult is treated in the emergency room for a fall. And every 19 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. Second reason is falls can cause serious injuries. Falls result in injuries such as hip fractures, broken bones, and head injuries. In fact, more than 2.8 million older adults are treated in emergency departments annually because of a fall, resulting in over 800,000 hospitalizations. The third reason is simply falls are costly. The average hospital cost for a fall injury is over $30,000. Falls, with or without injury, carry a heavy burden on the quality of life. After a fall, many older adults develop a fear of falling and as a result limit their activities and social engagements. Fear of falling can result in further physical decline, depression, social isolation, and feelings of helplessness. And lastly, falls impact caregivers too. Research has shown that after a care recipient's first fall, caregivers report a significant increase in caregiver burden, fear of falling, and depression. Research has also shown that the toll on the family caregiver's health appears to increase over time. If you can prevent a fall, whether it is you as the caregiver or the person you are caring for, you can save time, stress, and money. What to do if you fall? Now, no one thinks they're going to fall, but it happens, even to someone younger like myself. Here's what to do if it happens to you. The first thing is look around for something sturdy, such as a bench, and then roll onto your side. The second thing is to crawl or drag yourself to the bench. If you can pull your walking aid with you, then do so. The third thing is from a kneeling position, put your arms on the seat of the bench. Fourth is place your strongest foot flat on the floor. Fifth is to push up with your arms and legs while twisting your torso to hold onto the bench or the bed or whatever it is that's around you that's sturdy. And sixth is to sit down and rest before trying to move again. I'm now going to play a video by an occupational therapist named Rhonda B. Rhonda teaches creative, out-of-the-box thinking for getting up from the floor after a fall in the home. This video is meant for seniors and people with balance problems. If it raises awareness that common items in the household can also be turned into surprisingly effective makeshift fall rescue tools. This video is one of the best I've seen, so please feel free to share with your circles.
A significant number of people who experience a fall in their home have difficulty getting back up again. They find themselves trapped on the floor for hours or even days. No toilet, no food, no water, no good. With this video, I want to teach you how to ideally get yourself back up on your feet in minutes. More precisely, I'm going to teach you how to get yourself up from the floor MacGyver style. For those of you who aren't familiar with MacGyver, it was an action-adventure TV series in the 80s featuring a character named MacGyver who was able to take common everyday items he found around him and use them in unconventional, creative ways to get himself out of all kinds of crazy predicaments. With the eyes of a therapist, I can look around this living room full of the typical household items and see many things that people can use to successfully get up from the floor. In this video, we will explore some of those possibilities. Now, each of you out there is going to have different ability levels and different things available for use in the environment. Therefore, everything shown in the video will not work for everyone. But one of the most important things you'll come away with is how to use inventive, MacGyver-style thinking to help rescue yourself in the event a fall does occur. In the case that you're injured, your first step may not be to try and get up on your feet. So hang tight to the end of the video, where I'll also show you what to do in the event you've experienced an injury during the fall. I'm going to start off by showing you a basic fall recovery technique. And then we'll advance to the truly MacGyver-style techniques. We'll begin with a basic fall recovery technique. This is a great one to have in your repertoire in case you do find yourself down on the floor. Begin by simply drawing your knees upwards and reaching your dominant arm across your body to the opposite side. Place your hand down on the floor and push down through that hand while pulling the other elbow backwards underneath you. Extend both arms and come over onto your knees, and then crawl to a stable surface. Raise your strongest leg and push down through your hands in that leg and simply turn and sit down. And once seated, remain seated a few moments to make sure you're okay. If the basic technique doesn't work for you, here's another one you can try. This one's called the tipping point. With this technique, you simply extend your elbows and lift your bottom just a few inches off the floor until you find that nice tipping point where you're able to lean your head and your shoulders backwards onto the couch. And once your weight is supported on the couch, you simply walk your legs to the side, lift your feet up on top of the couch, roll over onto your side and drop your legs over the edge, and push yourself upright. If both of these techniques don't work, here's another one you can try. This is called the hip hike. When your hand is on the same side of your body, it's difficult to get enough height to get up on top of the couch. The trick is to reach your hand across your body, lean your head forward, and push down through the arm on the right and the elbow on the left while lifting your hips up on top of the couch. If none of those techniques work for you, then it's time to start to scan your environment for something else that can help. In this case, I found a nice pull-out mattress below this couch, and I'm going to use that as a halfway transition point or a step to help me get up. I'm going to combine it with the hip hike that we used last time. And just to review, simply push down through your elbow, through your arm on the right, and lean your head forward while you hike your hips up on top of the couch. By applying a little MacGyver-style thinking, there are many things that you can use to create a step to help yourself more easily get up from the floor. In this case, I've grabbed the stereo speaker down from the shelf beside me, which makes a great halfway point. And from there, it's much easier to transition backwards onto the chair. And of course, back to normal activities again. What if there isn't a couch or chair nearby? This next one gives new meaning to the expression get a leg up. In this one you can see I've flipped over a common coffee table. I'm going to grab the speaker down just like I did last time. You can grab anything nearby you think will make a nice step. I'm also going to grab the second speaker because I now need to make a little bit higher transition point to be able to stand up from, since I don't have the couch or chair behind me. Here you'll see I work my way slowly up the speaker steps, and once I reach the top, the good part now is that I have these great table legs that I can use for balance and to help push myself up. And here you see me, happy to be back on my feet. Once you've turned on your MacGyver-style thinking, you'll be able to find steps everywhere. In this next clip, I found a great set of steps on the back side of this chair. All I needed to do was remove the cushion and flip the chair upside down, and a great tool to use to help me get up from the floor. However, once I reach the top step, I realize I'm still a little too low, and I don't have armrests to push up. But I'm not going to give up. All I need to do is turn myself to the side and use the bottom of the chair, and I'm happy back up on my feet again. And last, but by no means least, my favorite MacGyver-style fall recovery technique is the book tower. For this one, all you need to do is lean your hips slightly from side to side and tuck a book under the opposite side, and continue doing so until you reach a height where you're able to stand up. Try to build your book tower near something you can use to hold on to stand up. In this case, I used the edge of the bookshelf. You can also consider building a shorter book tower and placing it in front of a couch or chair. The couch here gives the book tower a little more stability, and it's easy to move from the tower back onto the couch. Likewise, you can consider building it in front of a windowsill or somewhere else with good handholds. Now, what if you were injured during the fall? In this case, it might not be wise to get back up on your feet, especially if you hurt a back or a hip during the fall. And trying to drag yourself can be completely exhausting. I have another trick for you. This one is called the glute scoot, also known as butt walking. With this one, all you need to do is lean yourself from side to side, and as you do so, lift and scoot the opposite hip backwards. And this takes very little energy, and I can go backwards, and I can also go forwards. And the goal is to try to work your way across the room either to a telephone or the front door where you can call for help. Now what if you're injured to the extent that you can't even sit up? And as we said, trying to drag yourself around can be exhausting. In this case, I have one last trick for you. This one I call the sideways inchworm. Begin by drawing your knees upwards and pushing down through your heels as you lift and scoot your hips sideways. And at the top, you want to push down through your elbows as you lift and glide your shoulders sideways. And using this sideways inchworm technique, you want to incrementally work your way across the floor, ideally to a telephone, but if you can't reach the phone, then you want to make your way to the front door where you can remove a shoe or grab any nearby object to help you make as much noise as you can to get someone's attention to come help you as soon as possible.
So a good way to remember the steps to take if you fall is to think raise. Remember the acronyms RAISE. The R stands for relax. You might feel a rush of adrenaline, which is good. You'll use that energy to help get you up. The A is for assess. Are you okay? Are you feeling pain? Is there anything sturdy enough to hold onto close by? Is your cell phone in your pocket? Do you have an alarm pendant? Is anyone nearby? The I is for inch. If there is something sturdy close by or a cell phone close you can reach, inch your way to it by crawling. And remember, take your time. The S is for steady. Steady yourself. With your strongest leg, push yourself up to a standing or sitting position, holding on to the sturdy object. Use both your arms and legs to pull yourself up. And the E is for evaluate. Do you need to go to the doctor? Can you stand? If not, sit down and rest before trying to move again. I'd like to highlight that if you can't get up, don't panic. Try to stay warm. If injured, stay where you are. Call for help. Make noise. Shout or bang on something. Press your pendant alarm. If you have a safety whistle, blow on it. Use the telephone if you can. And get comfortable. Use a cushion or clothing as a pillow. Use a tablecloth or rug as a blanket. And most importantly, let your doctor know. Most importantly, develop a plan. Remember the 5 P's. Proper preparation promotes peak performance. Here are some tips that you should take in developing a just in case I fall action plan. Wear a personal alarm around your neck or your wrist. Personal alarms are designed to give elderly people and their loved ones the peace of mind of knowing that at any time they can contact emergency services for help, even if they don't have direct access to a phone. The button on the wristband or pendant can be pressed at any time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When pressed, the alarm will automatically dial through to the 24-hour emergency resolution center. A quick response means help will be on its way as soon as possible. The help you need is on the way. Keep a cell phone with you at all times. Cell phones, if you're in the home and don't have a cell phone, it's best to use cordless phones, as they're easier to access and carry around with you. Here's one a lot of people don't know about. Set up quick dial numbers on your phone. Another life-saving tip is to program ICE, which stands for in case of emergency numbers, into your phone. During Hurricane Katrina, so many people were injured, unconscious, and separated from their families that emergency workers came up with the idea of putting an ICE, in case of emergency contact, in their cell phones. Now, when a patient who is unconscious or unable to speak comes into the emergency room, Hospitals worldwide check their smartphone for an ICE contact to help them locate their next of kin. First thing is, decide who your ICE contacts will be. The first, of course, will be your spouse, partner, best friend, or close relative. Someone that you want there with you at the hospital, or if you need be, making decisions on your behalf. The question you ask is, but what if that person is also injured or is out of town or forgot to charge their phone? Why not choose one or two additional people to be ICE contacts? Just make sure that they are people who are very close to you, who you would know who will drop everything to race to your side and handle things until your significant other can be reached. Even if it's not the smartest phone in town, your plain old cell phone can be a real lifesaver. In fact, it's just as easy to set up an ICE contact on a phone that's not a smartphone. Just keep in mind that every phone is different, so you might have to play around with the contact a bit. Simply put, click on Add New to add a new contact and touch the first name field. Don't put the name of your contact in this field, only the word ICE. In the last name field, enter their name. Do the same thing for your second ICE contact, and then call it ICE 2. Another valuable tip is carry a whistle. Imagine you were walking peacefully on the street when suddenly you hear an ear-piercing noise. What would you do? Most people would likely investigate the source of the high-pitched sound. The curious nature of humans is what makes whistles work. These handy little items are designed to attract the attention of people nearby. Safety whistles and personal alarm devices were originally created to protect the user against attempted robberies and other acts of violence, but they were quickly adapted by the senior community as a signaling tool in case a medical emergency occurs. A safety whistle is as simple as it gets. While personal alarm devices are nearly as easy in usage as they just require a push of a button or the pulling of a pin to produce a loud noise. It can also be worn around the neck, or it can be tucked away in a purse or bag for quick access whenever necessary. The action of whistling obviously requires effort from the user, which is something that an elderly person might not manage during a heart attack and certainly won't provide much help if they become unconscious. However, they are still a life-saving function if it's used by the recipient's spouse. Check-in calls. Have a friend or family member call you daily and leave them a spare key so they can get into your house quickly. If you don't have someone who can call you daily, enlist the services of an organization that offers care calls. Another good idea is to install a lockbox on your door. This is often used in real estate. A code is programmed into the box and the key is placed inside. That way the key is accessible if you have, say, more than one children or more than one person. Even if you have personal home care coming to your home, you're not always easy to get up, you can have this installed on your door. The key thing is, practice is key. Practice getting up off the floor. As I said in the beginning, proper preparation promotes peak performance. Words to live by. Know what